Now the second way of vector addition is parallelogram law of vector addition. In this we will add two vectors or represent two vectors by the adjacent sides of a parallelogram, and the resultant is given by the diagonal of a parallelogram. That is, if two vectors are represented by adjacent sides of a parallelogram both in magnitude and direction, then its resultant is represented by diagonal of parallelogram. That is, if in the numerical two vectors are given by the adjacent sides, then you have to complete a parallelogram and find the resultant by the diagonal. So let's see. These are two parallel lines and these are also parallel lines. Then the resultant is given as diagonal of it. For example, if two forces are acting on the same point, then the body or the object will not move in the direction where the force is applying. It will move in the direction of diagonal. And that is the resultant of the two forces. So let us suppose this is A vector and this is B vector. So the diagonal will give its resultant. Parallel to B is this side, parallel to A vector is this side. So let us suppose this is M point, this is N and this is T. Therefore, and this is O point. So by triangle ONM, we can write ON vector equal to OM vector plus NM vector. That is, ON is R vector, OM is A vector plus B vector. That is, resultant is equal to sum of the two vectors. We can find its magnitude and direction by analytical method. So let's see. Now let's find magnitude of the resultant and its direction. For this, draw a parallelogram. These are the two adjacent sides. Another parallel side. The last one. And the diagonal. This is vector A, vector B, R vector. Parallel to A vector is A vector. This is O, point M, N, T. This is vector B parallel to B vector. Now draw perpendicular on base OM and exceed this space to some further distance. Drop on it from N perpendicular. This is right angle. Now A and B are incident on an angle theta. R is making an angle alpha with A vector. As A, this is B vector, this is A vector, therefore this is the angle between A and B, that is theta. This is 90 degree. Let it be point P. Now, as we know that R vector equal to A vector plus B vector. Consider right angle triangle ONP. And apply Pythagoras theorem, we get resultant square, that is hypotenuse square, equal to OP square plus NP square. OP can be written as OM plus MP whole square plus NP square. OM can be written as A vector, MP we can find by considering this triangle. NP also we can find by considering the same triangle. So first let us find it, give it equation number 1. Consider triangle, right angle triangle MNP. Here sin theta is given as NP by MN, perpendicular by hypotenuse. This implies NP equal to B vector, or in terms of magnitude B sin theta. NP equal into B sin theta. Give it equation number 2. Similarly, in triangle MNP, cos theta is equal to base by hypotenuse, that is MP by MN, implies MP equal to MN, that is B cos theta. Substitute 2 and 3 in 1, we get OM, ON is equal to R square, OM is A vector, plus MP is B cos theta whole square, plus NP, that is B square sin square theta. Now it is as similar as triangle law of vector addition. We can write it as A square B square cos square theta plus 2AB cos theta plus B square sin square theta. Now it can be written as A square plus B square cos square theta plus sin square theta plus 2AB cos theta. This is equal to 1. This is an identity. Therefore, a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta, and if we are talking about its magnitude r, then it is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta under root. This is the value of magnitude, and the resultant vector are called law of cosines. You can write R is called law of cosines. Now let's find its direction. Direction of R. We know that here R is making an angle alpha with a vector, and tan alpha equal to, when we consider right angle triangle ONP, tan alpha is given as perpendicular by base, that is NP by OP. NP we have calculated by equation number 2, that is b sine theta. OP is divided into two values, that is OM plus MP. OM is a vector plus this is b cos theta by equation number 3. Therefore, tan alpha is equal to b sine theta upon a plus b cos theta. This is the direction of R vector. Now third vector addition is polygon law of vector addition. In this, we consider number of vectors in same order, and the resultant vector is the closing side of all the vectors, and its direction is taken in opposite order. That is, its definition is, if number of vectors are represented by the sides of polygon, taken in same order, then resultant is represented by the closing side of polygon taken in opposite order. That is, if there are number of vectors and total number of vectors are 7, then this is vector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all are in same direction, and its resultant is in opposite direction. So we can write this is the resultant of 2 vectors, this is the resultant of 3 vectors, this is the resultant of 4 vectors, 5, 6, and this is of 7, resultant of 7 vectors. That is, let us suppose it is A vector B, vector C, D vector, E vector, F, G. So we will write R vector equal to sum of all the 7 vectors. And its direction is opposite to the direction of all the vectors, that is the closing site of all vectors. Now let's study some properties of vector addition. First property is vector addition follows commutative law. That is, when we will add A vector and B vector, then it is equal to B vector plus A vector. That is, we can see it also in parallelogram, that if A vector and B vector are the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then their parallel sides gives the same vector which is opposite to it, and this is the resultant vector. So here, if we will add A vector plus B vector, then it gives R vector. Similarly, if we will go in this way, that is B vector plus A vector, then it also follows another triangle. So these are two triangles by which we can get same resultant, which is equal to R vector. Therefore, A plus B is equal to B plus A. Similarly, another property is vector addition is associative. That is, if two vectors are adding together, then their sum can be added with another vector, and this is equal to A vector separately plus two vectors together, another two vectors, B vector plus C vector. This also we can draw. That is, let us suppose this is vector A and this is B vector. As there are three vectors, so we can show it by Polygon law of vector addition, and this is its resultant, closing site. Now, as we have studied that this is A, this is B, and this is C vector. So, this will give sum of two vectors. This is the resultant, which is equal to A vector plus B vector. And this gives B vector plus C vector, resultant of this. And this side is giving resultant of all the three vectors. So now let's see. A plus B gives resultant A vector plus B vector. Then we will add C. This is equal to this. Similarly, if we will add B plus C and then add in it A vector, then also it will give resultant A vector plus B vector plus C vector. So it is also true. Next property is vector addition is distributive. That is, let us suppose any number given by lambda and it is multiplied by the sum of two vectors, then it is equal to lambda times of individual vectors plus lambda times of another individual vector. With this we have studied in vector addition of a real number, that it is lambda times of a vector, lambda times of given b vector. So it follows three properties. Now next one is subtraction of vectors. We have seen addition and its properties. How can we subtract two or more vectors? If there are two vectors and we want to subtract it, then we can write it in this way, or it is equal to a vector plus addition of the second vector which is in opposite direction of the first vector. This when we can show in this way, that there are two vectors, a vector and b vector, and if we will add them, then it is given by triangle law of vector addition. If we want to subtract it, so if it is b vector and this is a vector, then this is the positive side of b vector and this will then give the negative side of b vector, and this will be the resultant. So we will write r vector equal to a minus b vector. This is the way we can find the subtraction of two vectors. One of the important topic of this chapter is scalar product, also known as dot product of two vectors. Let two vectors are a vector and b vector. Then their scalar product is given as a vector dot b vector, and it is equal to magnitude of both the vectors multiplied by cosine of a smaller angle between them, that is cos of theta. And if we will multiply vector b with vector a, that is dot product of both the vectors in reverse order, then it is equal to b a cos theta. One and the same thing, but there is a difference in the components. So we can draw it, b cos theta can be drawn in this way. Let us suppose this is vector a and this is vector b making an angle theta with a. Perpendicular, this is perpendicular, hypotenuse, and this is base. For component b, we can write this is the b cos theta component in the direction of a vector. Similarly, a cos theta component can also be drawn in this manner. This is a vector, vector b, and this is, let angle 90, and this is angle theta. So here it is perpendicular, hypotenuse, and this is base. So base component of a vector will be in the direction of b vector, which is equal to a cos theta. So component of a in direction of b is a cos theta, component of b in direction of a is b cos theta. Here it is a cos theta and it's b cos theta. Now, thus we can see that there is no difference when we will multiply by A dot B or B dot A vector. Their examples are if we will multiply two vectors together and take its dot product, that is force into displacement, F vector dot S vector gives work done. And we can also see that when we will take dot product of two vector quantities, then it will give scalar. So product of two vectors gives scalar physical quantity. Physical quantity. See more examples. We know force dot velocity gives power. Similarly, magnetic flux, that is number of magnetic field lines passing through a particular area, is given by magnetic field dot that area vector. It gives a scalar quantity. Similarly, another example is electric flux. Electric field, number of electric field lines passing through a particular area. Their dot products gives a scalar quantity. Now let's see the properties of a scalar product. We have seen that dot product is commutative. There is no difference. A dot B is equal to B dot A. Therefore, the first property is dot product is commutative or obey commutative law. A vector dot B vector is equal to B vector dot A vector. We have seen it. Now second is dot product obey distributive law. Over the additions of vector. That is A vector dot B vector plus C vector is equal to A vector dot B vector plus A vector dot C vector. The next and the important one is dot product of two parallel vectors is simply the magnitude of two vectors. Two parallel vectors. That is, if they are parallel, the theta between them is 0 degree. Therefore, A vector dot B vector is equal to AB cos 0 degree and cos 0 degree is 1. Since cos 0 is 1, therefore A vector dot B vector is the magnitudes of the two vectors. And the fourth one is if dot products are of two equal vectors, if there are two equal vectors, then also theta equivalent to 0. Therefore, if the vectors are equal, that is having equal magnitude as well as direction, therefore the vectors are same, and it is equal to a into a cos 0 degree, which is equal to a square. Similarly, dot product of two identical unit vectors can be written as that is same unit vectors, that is I cap in x direction dot I cap gives I into I, that is unit vector magnitude is 1 into 1 cos 0 degree equal to 1, that is I dot I is unity. Similarly, j dot j equal to 1, and another identical unit vector is k dot k equal to 1. By this we can find that if both the unit vectors are perpendicular to each other, I and j, then the angle will be theta equivalent to 90 degree and cos 90 is 0. Therefore, I dot j equal to 0. Let's see it. Dot product of perpendicular vectors, that is theta equivalent to 90 degree. Therefore, a vector dot b vector equal to ab cos 90, which is 0. Similarly, for unit vectors, I dot j equal to 0, j dot k or k dot I equal to 0. Dot product of two unlike or antiparallel vectors, that is if one vector is in this direction, another is in this direction, that is the angle between them is 180, and cos 180 is minus 1. Therefore, if a vector and another is in opposite or in anti-parallel direction, then it is equal to a into a cos 180, which is equal to minus a square. Similarly, for unit vectors, unlike unit vector anti-parallel or unlike unit vectors, I cap dot minus I cap gives magnitude 1 into 1 into cos 180, that is minus 1. Similarly, j dot minus j gives minus 1, and k dot k minus k gives minus 1. Now dot products in terms of their components. Let there are two vectors and their components in free space is Ax I cap, that is vector A is resolved in three vectors, three components, that is Ax I cap, Ay j cap, Az k cap, and B vector is resolved in three components in space, that is Bx I cap, By j cap, and Bz k cap. Then their dot products can be written as product of Ax into Bx. So we can write it as Ax Bx I cap. Now we can multiply Ax with all the three terms, then Ay with all these three terms, then Az with all these three terms. And on solving we get Ax Bx plus Ay By plus Az Bz. As I dot I or the like vectors are 1, I dot j is 0 and I dot minus I is minus 1. When we will write all these or implement this, then we get finally this value. Now another topic is projection of a vector along another vector. Projection is also a very important topic. Now let's see. If there are two vectors and we have to find projection of A in the direction of B vector. Projection of A vector in the direction of B vector. So let the two vectors are, this is vector B and this is vector A. Projection of A in the direction of B is equal to A cos theta, because here there is a projection of A in the direction of B. As we know, it is equal to A cos theta. So let's suppose it is denoted by P. Projection is denoted by P. Now cos theta can be written as, by the formula A vector dot B vector equal to AB cos theta. Therefore, cos theta is equal to A vector dot B vector by AB. Or we can write it A vector dot B vector in its component form, that is Ax Bx plus Ay By plus Az Bz, and magnitude of A into magnitude of P, which is equal to Ax square plus Ay square plus Az square into bx square plus by square plus bz square. Now we can substitute the value of cos theta in the projection, that is P is equal to A cos theta, which is equal to A vector dot B vector upon AB. So now let's substitute it. P is equal to magnitude A into cos theta, which is equal to A vector dot B vector by magnitude AB. It is equal to A vector dot B vector by magnitudes. Now we can cancel this magnitude by this magnitude, and we are remain with B vector by B, which is equal to A vector dot B cap, as unit vector is given by vector upon its magnitude. So we have learned that when we want to find the projection of a vector along another vector, then we will write the vector which we want to project, its component and the vector. This gives the projection. And cos theta by A vector dot B vector. We can find that it is equal to P is equal to A vector dot B cap. Similarly, find projection of B in the direction of A. Projection of B in the direction of vector A. So what we will write? Projection is noted by P, let, and projection of B, therefore magnitude of B, and its cos theta. Cos theta, we know it is given as A vector dot B vector upon magnitudes of both the vectors. B magnitude is cancelled by B, and we are remain with A vector upon its magnitude. So it can be written as B vector dot A cap. So this is all about projection of a vectors.